So there's this kid named Travis. He's just 15, lives in Arkansas, and let's be honest, he was kind of a troublemaker. Always getting suspended from school, always stealing stuff. He had a bit of a reputation in town. This was back in 1996, and here's the wild part. Travis decides one day that he's going to do something big. Not just skip class or steal a bike. He wants to break into a house and actually rob the place. And he's not planning to do it alone either. His friend Andre is coming with him. So the two of them hop on their bikes and start cruising through the neighborhood. At first they pick out one house, but then they get bold. They're like, "You take that one, I'll take the mansion across the street." And just like that, the plan is on. Travis heads into one house, starts rummaging through drawers looking for anything worth taking. Then out of nowhere, a Toyota Camry pulls up out front. And guess who's behind the wheel? Andre. Somehow this 15-year-old kid suddenly has a car. Travis runs out confused, like what is happening right now? Andre in a full panic. He tells Travis, "Man, I went into that mansion thinking no one was home. But there were people there. I pulled something out and things went really bad." He'd grabbed the car keys, stolen their Toyota, and now he's come to pick Travis up. Then he asks him something insane. "Will you come back with me to the mansion and help me clean up the mess?" Travis agrees. So they both head back to the mansion. The two people are still there, just like Andre said. They try to move them, but these are teenage boys. We're talking full-grown adults here. They don't know what to do. They light the whole house on fire. They torch the place, hoping it'll cover everything up. Then they jump back into the stolen Camry and take off. They make it about a mile before they completely lose control and crash the car. Somehow they're not hurt, so they crawl out and take off running on foot. Meanwhile, some guy from the neighborhood is just driving by, and he sees this wrecked car flipped over on the road. He's like, "What the heck is going on here?" So he follows the trail back to the mansion and sees it fully engulfed in flames. He calls it in, and soon the fire department and police are all on the scene. That's when they discover what happened inside. The investigation kicks off immediately. Cops are trying to figure out who did this, but they've got nothing. So they offer a $10,000 reward to anyone who can help crack the case. About a month later, someone finally tips them off. They say Travis might be involved. So police show up at his house, sit him down, and start asking questions. But Travis won't say a word. So they decide to put him through a polygraph test. He passed, but they're convinced he knows something, so they press him to take a fourth test. This time he fails. They push him harder and finally he breaks. He admits to breaking into the houses and stealing things, but he swears he didn't hurt anybody. According to him, it was all Andre. Andre was the one who had the weapons. Andre was the one who went too far. But even though he denies the violent part, he still just confessed to burglary. So the police arrest him for that. His fingerprints match the ones found inside the wrecked Camry. But strangely, there's nothing linking Andre to the crime. No fingerprints, no physical evidence, nothing. And since Travis is the only one they've got solid evidence on, they charge him with everything, even the worst parts of what happened. He's backed into a corner. No way to prove his side. So he takes a plea deal and ends up getting sentenced to 28 years in prison. But this story isn't even close to over. One of the people who was hurt that day was a woman named Sally. She had a grown daughter named Martha. After the tragedy, Martha inherits her mom's mansion. Instead of selling it, she moves in, fixes it up, and eventually turns it into a bed and breakfast. Now here's the thing about Martha, she's been through so much, but people say she's genuinely kind. She's a Buddhist too, so she believes in compassion and forgiveness. And for whatever reason, she decides to start writing letters to Travis while he's in prison. He writes back, and slowly this strange friendship starts to grow between them. Even though he took a plea deal, Travis always claimed he wasn't the one who hurt Sally. He keeps saying it was Andre. Most people don't believe him, they think he's just trying to save face. But Martha, she believes him. She knows he was part of the robbery, sure, but she doesn't think he was the one who ended her mom's life. So she starts trying to help him. She asks the police to reopen the case. She even hires Travis's mom as a housekeeper and becomes one of Travis's biggest supporters. She's out here writing letters, giving statements to the parole board, doing whatever she can. 20 years go by. It's now 2018. Travis is 37 years old. And after serving his time, he's finally released. Here's his booking photo as an adult. And who's there to help him? Martha. She offers him a job at the same mansion where everything happened. He's going to be the groundskeeper. For a guy with a record, this is a pretty sweet deal. So he takes it. At first, things seem good. Travis keeps his head down, does the work, and it really looks like he's trying to move forward. But about a year later, things fall apart again. One day, Martha sells a fancy chandelier to someone for $10,000. The buyer pays her in cash, and she tucks the money away in a room upstairs, planning to go to the bank later. Guess who's working at the house that day? Travis. He finds out about the money. And when no one's looking, he sneaks into the room and takes it. The next day, Martha notices it's gone. And the only person who was around when it went missing was Travis. She's heartbroken. After everything she did for him, this is how he repays her. She confronts him and fires him on the spot. Travis is furious. He feels betrayed, humiliated. And instead of moving on, he decides to do something truly awful. A month later, it's early in the morning, still dark out. Travis sneaks back to the mansion. He slips in through the back door, planning to steal even more from Martha. She hears someone moving around and immediately hits the alarm. That silent signal goes straight to the police. They're already on their way. Meanwhile, Travis sees her. There's a confrontation. He pulls something out and things spiral. She's badly hurt. Afterward, he wraps her in blankets and clothing. Then he pours flammable liquid over everything, probably planning to burn the place again, just like he did all those years ago. But this time, the police are almost there. They enter the house and hear movement upstairs. They find Travis hiding in the bathroom. They shout for him to come out, hands up. But instead, he jumps out the bathroom window, lands hard, and takes off running toward the same car he arrived in. He hops in, drives across the mansion's big front lawn, but the car gets stuck. So he bails and takes off on foot again, heading toward a nearby lake. And then he jumps in. Maybe he thought he could swim across. Maybe he thought he'd get away. But the reality is he couldn't swim. And Travis ends up drowning in that lake. That's how the story ends.